Ah, yes, the old adage. If there is a card game tournament to be had, there will be a stinky Yu-Gi-Oh player to be found, right? Well, we've recently had an outburst of comments made towards Yu-Gi-Oh players about their stinky bodies and their inability to wash due to a tournament taking place, or a local is taking place in Beaverton, Oregon. It looks like they put a temporary pause on tournaments after the Discord lit up, pretty much stating that they are putting a 1-week suspension on Yu-Gi-Oh playing tournaments because of the odor from the restrooms, or the lack of care from the restrooms, and then 1 or 2 remarks from people in the tournament themselves saying like, hey, some people stunk. Of course, whenever these things happen, Twitter kind of just blows it up out of proportions immediately, which is always really frustrating to see. And we've seen that again with Twitter. Twitter is jumping on this bandwagon. Oh, of course, Yu-Gi-Oh players stinky. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh players stinky Yugi. Yu-Gi-Oh sucks. This is why I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh stinky. And it just really kind of frustrates me, because it feels like whenever a situation does happen like this with the card games, particularly Yu-Gi-Oh, every other TCG feels the need to dogpile and jump on, which I don't really understand. Like, we don't do that to you, but whatever. You can't really take accountability for an entire group of people. I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of poopy stained brown butthole wipers in white chairs and in a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments out there, which is totally whatever. I get there's just as many Lorcana and more Magic players and One Piece players and all these other people that are suffering the same issue, but that's not the point. The point is, this is the second time we've been made fun of, and you know, if I had a nickel for every time the Yu-Gi-Oh community was made fun of for being really stinky, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's strange that it's happened so many times. So this is the second time, following 2019, when Konami had to make a statement on hygiene policies. Konami's 2019 hygiene policy is as follows. All participants and staff are required to practice good personal hygiene. Neglecting to wash or wear fresh clothes creates an unpleasant atmosphere, particularly in crowded tournament halls. If a player lacks self-care, it can negatively impact the event. Event organizers and judges have the authority to issue penalties, disqualify the player, or remove them from events entirely. Now, at the local level, it's a little bit less serious. You don't really judge call someone at a locals for stinking really badly. You can do it. It's kind of considered a dick move. You can just kind of talk to your opponent. But this venue in Oregon went the complete nuclear route and just said, hey man, until you guys can take care of the bathrooms, don't even bother showing up. 1 week, no locals. See you next week. That's crazy to me, that you would punish an entire group of people rather than, like, I know it has to be awkward to do this, but pull aside the 2 or 3 people that are causing this hygiene issue, and they probably know who they are. People have probably told them who they are. But as a locals, just talk to them, be like, hey man, until you can learn to wash, don't come back. Like, just, you cannot come back here unless you're wearing deodorant. You know what I mean? Like, don't make everyone else pay for their mistake. It just feels like it's a little bit like it should be handled on the tournament level at the local play. It shouldn't be pushed on the players, is what I'm saying. You shouldn't punish an entire locals group for the actions of these 2 people. Now, I think the reason is not the smell. The reason was the restrooms. And they cannot prove who took a dirty diaper diarrhea shit all over the walls at a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. They can't prove that because they don't have cameras in the restrooms. There's a violation of privacy. You can't have those in the restrooms. But they really want to know who the poopy bandits are. You can have an employee stand outside each restroom until you find the shitty wiper. Apparently, this is not the first offense. Apparently, this particular local store has had a myriad of reviews negatively impacting the store's rating because of the poor bathroom and smell hygiene issues. They've had a number of Google reviews for the establishment, such as, this place is in dire need of a no shower, no deodorant, no service policy. The first time I walked in here, the smell was so awful. Literally hits you in the face like a knuckle sandwich to your forehead the moment you open the door. This place is actually pretty cool, but holy shit, you guys need to fix the odor issue. They responded, we're so sorry that you had this experience. We do ask our visitors to be mindful of the personal hygiene and body odor as part of our rules of conduct, with signs that are posted at the front of the shop and around the play area. Unfortunately, this policy can be challenging to implement when we're running multiple large events, and especially on busy weekends. Our staff does their best to handle each occurrence discreetly, and we appreciate help from our community with identifying potential sources when they arise. TLDR, if there's a stinky bitch, there's a stinky little fucker, tell us who the stinky little fucker is, so that way we can say as an establishment, instead of singling someone out, the establishment can say we've had complaints from a myriad of people that you are the complaint. I think that's what they need to do, and that's what you can do in those circumstances. This video didn't really have like an overall message. Obviously, wash your dirty pits. Don't dig in your dirty diaper-filled pants and then play with your shit-stained fingers. Like, wash before you go to these tournaments. It's so bad, the level of hygiene and personal care from a lot of TCG players, but man, YuGiOh does not need any more help with being made fun of. Does that make sense? YuGiOh does not need help. We're just starting to get good stuff, and this is just like another knock in the kneecap. We're starting to stand up, and we get knocked back down again, which I really hate. And I'm just really disappointed by the number of Magic players and like other TCGs that just dogpiled on this. And it was, oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, of course YuGiOh players. I don't see that from YuGiOh to other games. It feels like it's always YuGiOh players that get the shit beat out of them when it comes to these kind of opinions, which is really unfortunate. I really like YuGiOh. I want the TCGs to kind of mesh well. And I've played One Piece. It's a very fun game. But it just feels like Magic players really wanted to let YuGiOh players have it this time around. All in all, just wash up before you go out to a tournament. I'm eager to hear if there's any stories that anyone else might have of some really bad hygiene issues. I'd love to read them in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm looking forward to hearing from you again. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. Okay?